And I would say that I absolutely agree with the master plan. Before we move forward on anything else, we need to look at that master plan. I'm looking forward to this individual that we spoke to before coming back at the next work session. But I also believe that our Parks and Recreation Department, the YMCA, needs to be involved in these things as well because those are within their scope of duties
They
to
will
create
be.
the master plan.
Absolutely. They will be a part of it.
Well, again, that's part of their duties to create that plan. So we need to utilize what we paid for and try to get that master plan worked out through the
I,
Parks and Rec.
I'm not so sure I saw in their contract that they do a Parks and Recreation master plan.
Well, they part of their general overall duties in the contract, which I have in front of me, is recommendations concerning the planning, construction, improvement, and maintenance of all city parks and facilities.
No.
Planning, construction,
No,
and
that's our
improvement.
master plan. And I think Richard can tell you by all the Parks and Recreation master plans that he has researched that it is far more expensive than what you are suggesting. Richard, would you support a Park and Recreation master plan?
Is that from our Parks and Rec department or from the
It
city?
doesn't matter who it's from. Would you support a Park and Recreation plan, the creation of a Park and Recreation plan?
From the Parks and Rec department,
No.
yes.
Yep. The problem we're facing, Richard, is I've been in this community for 14 years, and the sports have always been the same. You've got all these fiefdoms around. You can't get past the politics to get anything done. You're sitting up here representing Little League baseball very well, softball very well, but there's a lot of users in our parks, and they all need to be represented. So it's going to take a third party to really put a good structure together, to put together a financial forecast for us to exist in the future. And I'm not quite sure why you are adverse to having a third party come in here and do that.
Well, actually, we've talked that we're going to listen to the gentleman.
I understand, but I really want to know if, particularly these two gentlemen who ran on Parks and Recreation, if they've got a real problem with having a third party person come in here and help us achieve this goal.
Let me set a couple of facts first. The other cities that you've mentioned that I have master plans for was done by their Parks and Rec department. So that's a fact. Our Parks and Rec department has not created a master plan or a comprehensive plan.
Parks and Recreation department.
We don't?
We have a committee and we have a WAD.
So I want to make sure that you're correct in stating that the YMCA is not a Parks and Rec department.
It's not what you would call a formal Park and Recreation department.
What was the agreement that we signed?
What?
The agreement that we signed with the YMCA. What is that? What is?
It is. They are representing our parks. They are acting. Richard, you've looked at enough plans to know that what the YMCA is doing.
I just want to make sure I'm answering your question apples to apples.
Okay.
And if we're looking at apples to apples,
they are
we're not.
serving right now as the only semblance of a Park and Recreation department that we have. But what we have put them on contract to do is just a fraction of what a formal Parks and Recreation department would do.
Actually, that's not accurate. We have hired them as Parks and Recreation director. The duties on there are quite comprehensive. The question is, would we expect more than what we're getting given the price that we're paying them? So if we wanted a master plan that's more extensive than what we've gotten in the past, we may have to pay them for specific extra duties that we have, or we may go to your consultant, or I mean, there's a number of different ways to approach the problem, but the YMCA is our Parks and Recreation department with an extensive amount of duties under current contract out there. How we actually end up with a overall master plan is still to be determined. A lot of it based on the gentleman that you have coming on December 6th and the proposals and the information that he has to give us. And I think we're all open to hear what he has to say and to evaluate those services and the cost of those services. And then debate afterwards other methods or that method on going forward.
I do not envision that we are going to hire that gentleman on the spot. I envision that we are going to listen to what his experience has been in the past in establishing parks and recreation management structures, management plans, financial forecasting, land usage, all of those things, and then possibly issue an RFP to get the best organization, the best group to come in here and to assist us. But I have even talked to Tiffany about this, and as they are staffed right now, what what is being suggested by these ordinances is out of scope of what they are manned to do, what they have the experience to do. So that is where I'm coming from. That I admire what they do, I respect what they do, and I think they're being paid. They're doing what they're being paid to do, but it's not on the grandest scheme that we need to manage to operate efficiently in our city.